Alright everybody, it's me, Johnny. I'm back with more reaction analysis content on this beautiful rainy Sunday with a new microphone setup. It sounds pretty nice, so I'm glad to have that. I feel like the audio is usually my worst part of my reaction videos, so I'm glad we're patching that a little bit. Very rainy. I just got back from a long drive and I don't like driving at night in the rain. It's pretty scary. But anyway, we're here to talk about Voiceplay, not me driving in the rain, and their cover of Seven Nation Army featuring Anthony Gargiulo. So they had him for Golden Hour, and the last cover they did was actually Valhalla Calling, which is officially my new favorite Voiceplay cover. But I also really like Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, the original song. So we'll see how their cover of Seven Nation Army stacks up. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, we're live, and just so you know, I am on the Patreon preview, so that's when I'm recording this video, but it'll come out shortly after their video comes out, so let's hit it.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. No, back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming from my heart says leave it alone. Leave it alone. I don't wanna hear about it. Don't wanna. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the Hun. And if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't what you wanna hear, but that's what I'll do.
And the feeling coming from my bones is gone.
I'm going to Wichita, yeah, far from this opera forevermore. Yeah, I'm gonna work the straw, make the sweat out of every part. And I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will sing no more. And the stains coming from the stains coming from the stains coming from my blood. Go back I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back.
Is that it? I think so. Alright, guys, Positively Dirty. I watched the whole thing through because a lot of people complained of my reactions to Nothing Else Matters and Valhalla Calling that I stopped too much. So, I guess we can go back and do a big analysis now. But you know what? Let's find the key. So, E minor, same as the original. I think they're doing a lot of what they did in Valhalla Calling in that kind of chorus section where you got like kind of like a soundboard effect, a lot of electronically altered sounds, and I think it contributes to both songs incredibly well. Especially this, it's like heavy and not heavy, but like punk metal. It's pretty freaking sick what they did with this, and especially with the vocals, which is one of my favorite things about Voiceplay. All of their singers have such incredible agility with their voices and such incredible versatility. So that's what I was paying attention to a lot of the time. But the arrangement is pretty sick too. Now I can't see yet on Patreon. If they put it in the description, I just didn't read who arranged it. Let me check real quick. Okay, so no information about who did the arrangement, but whoever did, incredible job. Now I'm gonna go back and pick it apart a little bit more and take a look at the vocals and what's going on with the arrangement. So if you just came for the reaction, you got it. If you want to stay for the analysis, let's hit it. So aesthetically, we're very similar to Warriors, I guess, which they did in, I guess, some kind of abandoned building. Yeah, they picked that up. We're in E minor, same key as the original. So Jeff is on dum 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 bum ba. It's really low down to that low B1. Which my keyboard doesn't go down to, and neither does my voice, clearly. But, yeah, pretty nice low warm tone from Jeff there, but it's also pretty, it has that forward motion that you want for a driving song like this. Some kind of line like that going on there for Melee. Not part of the original, so we're already adding some kind of vocal add-ons to mix it up a little bit.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back.
Of course, and the only percussiveness we need in this beginning section, on top of Ellie's vocals, are and that's the low halftime feel, and we get the off from the background vocals, because we want it to start so soft and low in terms of the dynamic. As we start an arrangement, we want to start soft and then gradually build as we go. So I think they're doing a good job of that here.
Nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back.
Mix it up there already. Here.
Me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time.
So Jeff has this whole time been going. That time he doesn't. He kind of gives it a little pause.
Taking their time.
Nice. So we kind of mix it up a little bit as we get that oh, and that also kind of teases the build that we want to get later on, because they're increasing in pitch. The pitch is going higher, implying that it's going to build, and the dynamic is getting louder as they do that oh line. So yeah, teasing that build here.
Oh, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. No.
When I talk about the versatility of Voiceplay's vocals, I think Caesar is usually the prime example of that, because this man can sing in any style, and he has been recently. If you look at all their covers that he's done this year, he's hit In My Room, Golden Hour, Valhalla Calling, and now this, he's kind of hit a different tone in each one. I think it's really impressive what this man can do.
My back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget.
So we're starting to get some more steady vocal underlining underneath the melody. So, building. like you do.
No,
Now, that startled me the first time I heard it. What the heck is that?
and I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. No, back and forth through my mind.
Lane turned into a Demogorgon there. Yeah, I do. They've been adding a lot of electronic effects to the beatboxing, the vocal percussion, and it usually adds a whole lot of good. It just adds such a new flair that we don't usually get with acapella pieces. So yeah, I'm loving it.
No, back and forth.
And that's a hemiola, you know. In music, you say hemiola because you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. But a background melody will go on in triplets. So you have. That's a hemiola because you're keeping the time in 4, but a melody is moving in 6 at the same time as you're going in 4. So you get the kind of da 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 da. I don't really know how to sing it all at the same time, but you get the point. It's two different time signatures happening at once, essentially.
Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming from my heart says leave it alone.
Right there, that really surprised me. I thought that was Anthony, to be honest, because I was like, is Caesar getting such like a dark and brooding tone? It feels unnatural, but it just goes to show, again, the versatility of his voice is just incredible.
And the message coming from my heart says leave it alone.
Yeah, I can't get a B. I'm not getting a G, but down to a G1 sub there from Jeff.
From my heart says leave it alone. Leave it alone. I don't wanna.
So interesting stuff in the bass part here. We take it up an octave, and then when we go back down, we get some kind of distortion on it, and we get the kind of thing going on in vocal percussion, which might be Jeff or Lane, but it's interesting. I don't think it's done often enough where you take the bass part up an octave. It was a lot on Hoist the Colors and Nothing Else Matters, but it unlocks a new kind of texture to have the bass singing an octave higher than it normally would be, or even the reason I know that is because I play bass sometimes for an ensemble, and sometimes just taking something up an octave and going like down back to the octave you started, it adds like a new kind of intrigue to what the bass is doing, because bass parts, especially in songs like this, aren't very interesting. They're very repetitive, but they're doing stuff to it, and that electronic effect is just cool there.
And the message coming from my heart says leave it alone. Leave it alone. I don't wanna hear about it.
Ooh, that angry face.
I don't wanna
Nice.
hear about it. Don't wanna. Every single.
Yes, and as we get to the second verse, don't wanna hear about it. Don't wanna. You get that kind of background part going there, because Voiceplay, they always take the melody, break the lyrics, and put them in a different rhythm underneath the melody. So we're starting to get some of that here as we build the piece more and more.
I don't wanna hear about it. Don't wanna. Every single one.
And do those arpeggios going up and down the kind of chord structure, like for the E minor chord there. If you played it all at once, it'd just be an E minor chord, but making it an arpeggio adds a little bit more interest and a little bit more intrigue to it.
It's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the
Nice. Hounds of Down to that UN sub there. And you know what's interesting there? They have Anthony continue the hounds. That syllable. He doesn't finish the word hounds, and he doesn't finish the phrase hounds of hell, because Jeff takes it over, but he starts on that H sound just so it transitions more smoothly into Jeff taking over the lead just for that measure. Yeah, sometimes I think Jeff is a little bit overused in the arrangements just because his voice is really cool, which, to be fair, it is really cool, but Sometimes I think it's overused, but I think if you're gonna transition it like that, I think it's a little bit more warranted.
Of England to the high. And if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Those 16th notes happening there, that's pretty awesome.
And if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you.
Beautiful echo, beautiful riffing. Lovely.
And that ain't what you wanna hear, but that's what I'll do.
And the feeling coming.
So right there, we actually take the bass line, which I said is already not very interesting, but we add Caesar and Ellie kind of adding a harmony over the bass line.
That's what I'll do.
And the feeling coming from my bones is gone.
Yeah. Whatever's going on there, it's definitely some kind of synth effect. It's not a human voice, and I think Voiceplay has more and more been adding non-vocal effects to their pieces. We've gotten a lot of that recently, but I think it does add, like I've been saying, it adds a new level of texture, a new intrigue to their arrangements.
Coming from my bones is gone.
So what else caught my eye was, so instead of doing, let me turn this up. Jeff does that arpeggio I was talking about. And he does it again on the C. And instead of hitting the B, he does like, come on, that kind of thing. So just mixing up the boring bass line, making it more interesting.
My bones is gone.
Now sound effects from Lane. And as we have all this going on, the three tenors are doing kind of their harmony part work going on top of it. Yeah. Up there on an E4 with a heavy distortion on it. Actually, scratch that E5. It's very dubstep what they do, where they'll have these harmonies going on up at the top, and then they'll just electronically cut it off on the downbeat so Link can do his so every so often you'll hear that where they just electronically remove the end of the note just so we can, it's almost like a bass drop effect but with the vocal percussion. Right there. So they're called Voiceplay. Right now we're just playing with that bass line and adding harmony on top of harmony to it. Which, in the original, anytime we transition between verses, we just have that bass line repeat like 4 times. Again, cool, but not very interesting. So we're taking that and mixing it up a little bit, which, it's the Voiceplay thing, and I'm really enjoying it here. There's a low G from Jeff again.
I'm going to Wichita, yeah, far from this opera forevermore.
So as we get this melody from Anthony, we have some kind of electronic lower octave going on in there.
Yeah, far from this opera forevermore.
And it's very subtle. It's almost like you can't catch it unless you're looking for it.
Yeah, far from this opera forevermore.
Far from this opera forevermore. Something's going on in that octave, and Again, I don't think it's a human voice, or if it is, it's a heavily edited one. But yeah, it's just interesting little effects that they've been adding to their arrangements. It's just so cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna work the straw. Make the sweat out of every part.
So another E5 there from Ellie, and kind of a head dominant mix. You know, he was kind of getting up there in the other song, the Hollow Calling, and you know he has been a lot as the stand-in lead tenor. He's really getting good at that, kind of putting a lot of energy into that head voice mix, and I think he's really selling it. Oh, he's a great tenor.
Every part. And I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. Oh.
I just love that line. It's not from the arrangement, it's from the original, but the bleeding part.
Bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before the Lord.
Capitalize on that repetition a little bit by having every part do the same thing, just in stacked harmonies. Very nice.
All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will sing no more.
Beautiful vibrato on that note.
We'll sing, and the stains coming from the stains coming from the stains coming from my blood. Go back home.
So getting up there, what I really wanted to pause for though was the fact that instead of which is usually the bridge into the repeated section, we go so we make it twice as long and kind of mix up the chord progression a little bit.
And I will sing no more. And I will sing. And the stains coming from the stains coming from the stains coming from my blood. Go back home.
Ooh, it's getting dangerous. Never gonna get over those metal bells. Oh, so good. So we repeat the first verse here. We have everybody going strong, doing their thing. So we started soft, and this is the point that we're building to. This is the ultimate apex of the beast, top of the hill. This is where we've been building towards. That's freaking high for a male voice. Yeah, it's only on a good day with a lot of warm-up in my high falsetto range.
I'm gonna fight them all. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back.
Nice. So similar to, I almost said Never Gonna Give You Up. Similar to Nothing Else Matters, Voiceplay. You know what they do is they end their big climactic part, and at the end they just repeat the melody from the beginning for a little bit at that kind of softer pace that they started at. So yeah, I mean, it's a good technique. Go like build, hit the apex and fall off and do something soft for the ending. And it works well for the purposes of the arrangement. And I do really like this arrangement. I think it does justice to the original, which, like I said, I'm a big fan of the original, so it means a lot coming from me. Yeah, I mean, another win for Voiceplay. I think this is the year where they have creatively peaked so far, going strong with monthly videos, seems like. So you know what? Voiceplay has been on a roll lately, and I think this is a good addition to the catalog. Yeah, and be sure to go like their video and subscribe to them. But you know what? That's all from me. So if you enjoyed, like and subscribe here. I'd love to have new friends. So yeah, join the party. But that's all for me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.